check my calendar. They'll ask you to sing. I'm sorry, not today. Some other time. They'll ask you to play. Y'all got nobody else here to play your. They'll ask you to do something for the Lord, and you were trying to push it off on somebody else. And all of a sudden, what you were doing, you no longer could do as well as you used to. And the Lord told me that Joseph, if he had not gotten away from Jacob, he would have been rotten and spoiled and good for nothing. Some of us, had God not gotten us out of our place of comfort, we would have been rotten and spoiled and good for nothing. Everything you thought was happening. You said you were rolling, you were balling, everything was going so good for you. But you forgot who got you there. You forgot how you got there. By grace, all you got through faith. If it had not been for the Lord who been on my side, I got to a place, I got too busy to go to church. Let me tell you, don't you get too busy to give God his time. I can run with you, I can play with you, I can do everything else. But when it comes to God's house, well, I just don't feel. But I heard the Lord say, Sister Judy, I don't see any wheelchairs in here. Nobody's in here walking on the crutch. You know why? Because God gave you strength. Just one more day. Mama Black was talking last Sunday about how the Lord, she knew what was happening to her. She felt the pain. She knew it was a heart attack. She knew it was a stroke. But I heard her say, if I can just make it back to the house of the Lord, somebody, you don't realize that the only thing that's keeping you is that somebody is praying you through. Somebody is holding a holy hand and saying, don't let it fall, Lord. Jesus, give me one more few minutes. And Joseph, had he stayed where he was, tell him that he would be no good. Spawn, rotten. So you were your daddy's baby. Your mama's love. And yet you stayed there, you would have been no good. Mama kept him close to the breast and never let him do nothing for himself. But I heard the Lord say, I had to put you in a place that you didn't know. Number one, how you got there. And number two, how you going to get out of there. Say I feel like preaching this. But I'm here to tell you, you may not believe it, but it was for your good. You may not believe it. Now, Joseph got into Potiphar's house. Joseph got into Potiphar's house, and he became the head of the house. Everybody say favor. Right? You may be in the house as a slave, but I'm going to give you favor. You may be the lowest one on the totem pole, but God will give you favor. They may actually cut your job, but God will give you favor. They may actually remove your position, but God will give you favor. Somebody say favor. If you trust in the Lord, somebody say preacher. If you trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding, He will. Why don't you come back to me? He will. Direct your path. Joseph trusted in God. He didn't understand anybody else in here other than me who doesn't understand some of the stuff God is taking me through? He would not have understood the requirement of measuring things out. All right. Y'all hear this? Because remember, at Jacob's house, he didn't do nothing. He had the ability, but he never had the opportunity. Some of us have the ability, and we won't take advantage of the opportunity. They ask you to sing on the choir, not me. Ask you to usher on the floor, no, not me. Ask you to lead service, not this time. They ask you whatever they ask you to do, and then when you get on your bed of affliction, Lord, why can't I just do it one more time? And I heard Jesus say, when you have the opportunity, you wouldn't like. If I could just make the church one more time, why didn't you go when you could make it? When you had a car, full of gas. Preachers, ended up at the club. Ended up at the grocery store. I told a lady the other day, and doing service, she was making out the grocery list. That's why I'm looking on the smile. You got all week long to do whatever you need to do, and during God's time. I'll tell you one thing, if you play with God, you not only not that you was on that list, but he put you at the table, he put you at the door of the Salvation Army saying, whatever you got, I'll take it. Jesus have mercy. But don't you know this? It was for your good. Had he not been in Potiphar's house as a slave, he would have learned how to measure things out and account for things. Good God Almighty. And then Potiphar's wife got behind him. Deep down the first time he had to run. I believe this, mother, that when he was in that ditch, when he was in the well, when his brother threw him in the well, he said, I wish I had ran in. And so this time when Potiphar's wife came at him, he said, I learned how to run now. But had he not run and been falsely accused, he would never have made it into prison. And when he got into the prison, Lord, why the saints gotta go to jail? Why they gotta be treated so badly? And he was a holy man. Why he ain't go there? Because if he had not gone there, he would not have met the butler or the baby. Somebody said there was a purpose for it. Touch somebody and tell them there's a purpose for it. I need you to look at them in the face and tell them you're going through stuff, but there's a purpose for it. There are things you're dealing with, but there's a purpose for it. He got to be head of Egypt, the prime minister of Egypt. Mother Reynolds, you understand this with me. Joseph had a dream, and he dreamed that the sun, the moon, and the stars bowed down to him. His father, preachers, his father said, are you suggesting that your mother and me and all your brothers will bow down? Understand this. First, he didn't have a problem when it was just the boys. Because he thought they should bow down to him anyway. But when he had the sun and the moon, he said, do you suggest that your mother and I should bow down to you? Now, get this. Real quick, get this. When it came time for the boys to come to Egypt to get sustenance, and they bowed down before Joseph, remember, his mother had been dead. His mother had died. So, the vision was not the mother and father bowing down to Joseph. But I heard God say, no, that was the son. Son is the son God. Son represented rock. Rock was the name of Pharaoh. And God said, oh, shut up. And when God showed Joseph, the son bowed down to him. He was going to Pharaoh. The God of the son bowed down to Joseph. You may not understand some of the dreams you've been dreaming. But God is going to give you revelation. God is going to open up your eyes. You don't know it now. Oh, God Almighty, what you think is on what you see right now. But the Bible says, we shall not walk by what we see, but the just shall live by faith. You don't know it. You don't know it. But before it's over, you can have an impact. Before you know that, you can have an impact. So that was Pharaoh bowing down. The sun and the moon represented Jacob in his last days. Brother Morales, we think God is about to do it now, but God said, I got a plan for you. The saints used to sing a song, Mother Smile, they say, for the road of the road, for the road of the road, Jesus, got a blessing. It's looking better. It's looking better. If you can hold down, it's going to be all right. If you can hold on, it's going to be all right. If you can wait, hold the Lord, and be on good terms. Wait. I say, on the Lord. Everybody want it now. But if you get it now, it may not be what you need. If you can hold out, Jesus, finish right here. Pharaoh bowed down to Joseph. Everybody bowed to Joseph. God prepared for Joseph. But if they never bow down, Wingo, just Wingo. If they, don't get that deep shot, if they never bow down, Joseph said, I know how to be abased.
That's it.
I know how to be abound. I know how to have. I know how to do without. I found out regardless of my situation. He got with Paul and said, I will bless the Lord. Regardless of what it looks like, I will bless the Lord. Somebody in this house, I need you to take a moment and look over your circumstance and say, I may not have understood, but it was for go. You still got your job? I don't know. I mean, you don't go back to work. They eliminate your job. But you know what God said? Never. He said, never. David said, I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed beg for bread. So much in this house, we've been made. I want you to stop begging and start telling God, not talking about me. You said I wouldn't have to beg for it. You told me I could ask. You've been walking through some things. I want you to ask God for it. You said ask for a miracle. You said ask God to work it out. You said ask God to do it for you. Walk the Lord. Pray the Lord. Say yes. We're all together here. Everybody standing. We're all together here. The Lord uses the QE this morning and said, you don't want to go.